What's going on, everyone? I'm Brian from Guardians of the Geckos. Now, for those of you that don't know who we are gecko breeders. That's right, gecko breeders, as you can see right here, based out of Orlando, Florida, and we specialize mostly in Crested Geckos and Gargoyle Geckos. So, those of you that don't know what this is right here, this is a Crested Gecko, and they're called that because of their crests at the top of their head there. Really beautiful, awesome animals. And those of you thinking about getting your first reptile, these are probably the route you want to go. They're very easy to take care of. It's very simple. So I'll come out with a future video describing their husbandry and how to feed them, take care of them, house them, all the above. So anyways, what I'm going to do today though is basically show you our gecko room. That's right, we have a gecko room. And show you some of our baby geckos, our breeder geckos, and a couple of the different species we have. So this is a quick look at the room. Everything you see here, all these containers have at least one gecko in them. Some of the bigger containers have 2 or 3 or 4. Now in this room we have about probably 60 to 70 geckos right now, with many, many more to come very, very soon. So first, let's go ahead and this is Krillin right here. Let's go ahead and put Krillin back in his bin. This is where he is housed right now. Put him in here. So he's a little stud. He has 2 females in there with him right now. Nebula and Bulma are his little roommates in there. And I'm going to show you guys a few of our babies. So this is called our hatchling or baby rack right here. And looks like we have probably about 30 something geckos just on this. Now each one of these containers, it has one baby gecko. We house all of our babies once they're hatched. We put them in these little shoebox containers and they stay in here until they're about 10 grams. So let's look real quick at some of these. This one I'm pulling out was born November 12th of 2017, and it is January right now, so he is about 2 months old. Really pretty, almost a full pinstripe there. This is actually, there he goes, one of Krillin's babies. Let's see if we can get him to jump for you guys. Oh, there he goes. And yeah, Crested Geckos are excellent jumpers. So we'll slide them back in there. Let's get one of the new ones that just hatched out. Maybe this guy in here hatched out just this last week. He was 1 week old. You can see how tiny he is. He's at the tip of my thumb right there. And for those of you that know a little bit about Crested Geckos, this is called he has the Harlequin patterning on here. And his dad's name is Thor. So he's going to be probably a good-looking guy, just like Chris Hemsworth. Anyways, we'll put him back. Now next up, let's show you, now these are about 4 or 5 months old. This is one of Krillin's babies as well, 5-month-old, so you can see this one's a little bit bigger, obviously. And this one is a phantom pinstripe there. So what a phantom means is, how you saw in Krillin earlier, he had those bright white pinstripes going down his back. Those lines there, that patterning. This one, he has those, but they're actually muted out to his base color. So he has that, what they call the phantom gene. Let's drop him back in there. I'll show you a couple more of our babies. If I can get him to jump off my hand. This is a lot more difficult than it looks. Get in there. All right. And then, so this is a different species I'm going to show you next. This is one of our Gargoyle Gecko babies. he is 2 months old right here. If I can get him out. Whoop. So here, we'll just leave him on the leaves. But that is a gargoyle baby. A little bit different than the crested geckos. Gargoyles get their name because if you look closely, they have little teeny like bumps at the top of their head. It looks like horns, like on a gargoyle statue, and that's kind of where they get their name from. So he's gonna have a nice red, and it's probably gonna turn out to be an orange stripe down the road because I believe, yeah, his mom and dad have orange stripes, so he's probably gonna look a lot like them. The one next to him is one of his siblings, egg siblings, so they're hatched out actually the one day from each other, but they're laid by the same parents. You can see, so this one's a lot darker than the other one. It's because he is it's a term called fired up, which means he's basically showing the most amount of color pattern that you're going to get out of one of these animals. Typically happens at night when they have good humidity and it's dark out. They are nocturnal, both crested geckos and gargoyle geckos. Slide them back in there. Alright, so let's quick look at some of the babies. Here we have some of our fear crickets, some of our mealworms. Doesn't this make you hungry looking at these, right? And now these big containers, these contain some of our breeding groups. So let's see if we can show you all some of them right now. Let's see. I'm going to show you all one of my favorite males we have. Of course, he's hanging out in the lay bin right now, even though he's a boy. So this is Star-Lord right here. He is one of my favorite males. And I mean, you can tell just his color is amazing. He has a bright red base, full cream back, drippy dorsal with kind of white spots going down the sides there. Just a really awesome, beautiful, beautiful red and cream gecko. And then show you one of his little housemates in here. This is Nova. She's a nice big fat girl. Haven't had babies from her yet, but we have a few eggs from her incubating right now. And she is missing her tail. It's a common thing that happens with crested geckos, especially during breeding. If you do find crested geckos in the wild, they're native to New Caledonia, but they're known to lose their tails a lot, very often in the wild, more so than not. So if they do lose their tail, if you have one and it lost its tail, just make sure it's cleaned up good. They won't grow back like a lot of typical lizards, but it's normal, and it's a pretty common thing. So anyways, let's put them back real quick. Show you all maybe just a couple more crested geckos. And I was showing you all Thor a little bit ago. So he's definitely not fired up right now, but he gets like super dark on the sides there. But this is Thor, one of our other breeder males. So right now we have 5 breeding groups set up. And hopefully a lot more coming down the road to you all soon. Alright, so these containers over here have some of our more juvenile crested geckos. They're obviously a little bit bigger than shoe boxes, so they're all a little over 10 grams basically. Saw those, and now these are some of the breeder gargoyle geckos. So this guy right here is one of our reds. This is Carnage. He's not really fired up right now either, probably because I've had the light in here too long. But this is Carnage. And here is Scarlet, one of his one of his buddies. Both red gargoyles. So, like I said, you can see it a little bit better on the adults than the babies, though. Little horns at the top of their head. Really pretty geckos. Very docile, easy to handle. None of my geckos have ever bitten me, which is a great streak so far, and I want to keep that up. I am going to show you all one last gecko, and she lives in here. Her name is Shamu. This is a Leachianus, Rhacodactylus leachianus. A lot of people just call them leechies for short. And specifically, she is a new Ami Leachie. So this here, also called the giant gecko, and you can see her wonderful picture I have up on the wall right behind me. This is the largest gecko species in the world. So really awesome animal. I could, like, as I'm holding her right now, she's still not completely full grown, but she is gripping down on my hand hard. She's very strong. Really strong prehensile tail there. It's a lot shorter than the Crested Geckos and Gargoyles, but just a beautiful animal. So we haven't started breeding any leechies yet. We're currently trying to find her a boyfriend, but that is definitely in our plans for the future. So let's go ahead and put her back. Yeah, that is the giant gecko, Leachianus. Run back into her little house. So over here, a couple last things. This is the gecko food we feed them. We have Pangea, Crested Gecko diet, and then also Rapashi. We like to every week switch them in and out with each one. That way they don't get used to one specific brand. And I don't know if you all saw this already in some of the shots, but these are our incubating eggs right now. We keep our eggs incubating at room temperature. And we have all the hatch dates or laid dates on there right now. So you can see everything on the top there has already hatched out. And everything on the bottom we're waiting to hatch right now, including these 2 giant gargoyle eggs right there. Should be hatching out anytime now. So anyways, yeah, a lot more geckos to come to you all soon. So that's pretty much all I have in this video right now. Make sure, if you want to know any information whatsoever, or if you want to see any specific questions answered, leave them in the comment section below. I'll try to get to everyone. Or if you want to see, more in a future video, leave a suggestion below as well. Now, definitely subscribe to the channel because I have a lot more videos. Hopefully come to you all soon. This is kind of our first real gecko video, showing you all the facilities. So I'd like to answer all your questions, get to know you all, and make sure to like our Facebook page. If you're not following us at all on Instagram yet, definitely check that out. At Guardians of the Geckos is our Instagram page. And we do have a website now. It's very easy to remember, www.guardiansofthegeckos.com. So hopefully that wasn't too much information for you all. I just did all that info in one take, so hopefully I wasn't talking too much. Anyways, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you all next time.